Something ain't right. Wow, I'm fucking sick of this. Fucking ignorant shit. Wow, it's fucking ignorant. Fucking pure ignorance. That fucking shit like that. Fucking weird. Wow. Just get fucking TikTok.
For more than 35 years, Fisher Houses have been there for military and veteran families, saving more than $610 million. The foundation is on the road to building 100 Fisher Houses across the country and overseas. Learn more at fisherhouse.org.
Do you know QuickBooks Online can help you streamline much more of your business finances? With your financial accounts and apps in one place, you can easily see where your business stands. You can automate tedious tasks, run your business on the go with the mobile app, and get insights to make confident business decisions. Get all the financial tools you need all in one place for clearer financial visibility. Learn more about growing your business and get 90% off QuickBooks Online for 3 months. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
I can do that they can possibly be happy for?
Right. No, the answer is no. But it appears, Sean, that this was really just because nobody up until now had asked. Right. What did he do here other than just say enough is enough? Up until now, Republicans and Democrats looked at these trade deficits and looked at the imbalance and looked at the tariffs that foreign countries are putting on our products, keeping us out of their markets while we were wide open, allowing them into our markets. And they just shrugged and said, what are you going to do? And Trump said, well, here, I'll show you what we're going to do.
And that's the key point, Larry, is the follow-up. As you mentioned, I served for 3 years in the U.S. Trade Rep's office at the end of the Bush administration. And in some cases, we would ask, sure, during a trade deal, and then we'd be told no, and be like, okay, anyway, so let's move on. And we're trying to say, all right, well then, and with all due respect, I mean, part of it was we were at a very different place in the world, but I'm not trying to, it's just, I don't think the second piece is what matters, because Trump said, okay, well, if you don't agree, then I'll tariff you at 50%. And that would be devastating to your businesses. And so as you heard, the EU commissioner said yesterday, we're not excited about the 15% tariff, but it's better than the 30 that we had gotten to, right? So they went from 50 to 30 to 15. So in their mind, it's a good deal. But no previous president from either party had said, you screw us and we'll screw you back. Yeah. And that's the difference, is that Trump was willing to say, I tell people this all the time, early on, Trump was talking about NAFTA and how much he hated it, and I tried to act like a wise guy and then Mr. Know-it-all, and I said, well, sir, the NAFTA is in force, which is the legal parlance that you talk about a trade agreement. And he looked at me and goes, I don't care. It's like, what do you mean?
That's simple.
It's a bad deal. It was like, I literally was thrown up and like, excuse me? And he's just like, it's a bad deal. Our dairy farmers are getting screwed. Our auto workers are getting screwed. It's outdated. There's no intellectual protections for our creators here in the country. And I was like, okay, but what are you going to do about it? He's like, well, I'm going to rip it up. And I'm like, no one's ever done that. And literally, what do we have now? USMCA. And he's already renegotiating that. And that's the beauty, I think, not just in trade, but the through line in everything that Trump does, is that he's willing. I mean, think about how he deals with the media. And it's like no one previously had ever told them, you know, we're gonna push you out of the pool. We're going to bring in new creators. It's just the approach in everything he does is non-traditional, but the outcome, and this is where I keep telling people, focus on the outcome, not the process. Think about the trade deal. Everyone goes, I can't believe he threatened them. And it's like, okay, and what? We ended up with a better deal, so you're pissed about that? You know, like, I think this is, again, where too many people in Washington get upset about the fact that, like, they didn't get a say in a PowerPoint presentation, and you know, they weren't part of the process to bill a client. Whereas what Trump does is just say, screw it, I want a better deal. It works out. We benefit as a country. And I, like I said, I just keep telling people, stop, pause, focus on results.
Sean, what do you anticipate from some of these EU member countries in terms of climate goals and their green deals? Are they going to freak out about this? How will that sort of be affected because of this deal?
Well, it's a great question, because that's, again, one of those non-tariff barriers where they'll say to a company in the U.S., like, sure, you can sell into Germany, but you have to do these 5 things in accordance with our climate change standards. I think this is where the devil's going to be in the details. These are usually, like what we're talking about right now, are 4 or 5 page frameworks. And in a lot of cases, I think the pharmaceutical industry being one of them, where they're talking about, and there's some supply chain issues with respect to auto. So if you are BMW and you make a part for a BMW that's sold in South Carolina at a South Carolina plant, it would be terrible. I mean, there's a lot of details that are still going to have to be worked out. And that's one where you put your finger on a really good one, because this is those are those non-tariff barriers that suddenly prevent it. But the EU in particular, some of the EU president's member states were really concerned about what this was going to do to their market. So at the end of the day, to your broader question, I think they realized, okay, we might have to suck it up on some of our ridiculous leftist goals, but it'll achieve, you know, bigger benefits for us than otherwise would have if we had gotten tariffs. So
yeah. And again, which is another win-win. And by the way, people are losing sight of the fact that by the EU purchasing all of this energy, this, you know, good American energy from our country, that means they're not buying it from Putin, which means it's not funding his war machine, which is also part of the deal. Hey, Sean, can you stay with us? We got to check. Your favorite spot of the show is the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center, I know. But I got to ask you about the
garage. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. Plus, as long as Jamie gets in there for a little, I'm good. And then I'd love to do a little garage door open.com. And something about hair loss is always exciting to me. Sure.
Jamie Whitten is in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Sean's listening very intently.
It's going to get hot in there today. It's going to get hot.
It's going to get hot. Hey, Sean.
Hi, Jamie.
Don't be so nice.
Let's go. I want to go into a Falls Church. Unfortunately, this crash I've been talking about, crews tell me now that there's a utility pole that's damaged, so it's going to be here for a while. Gallows Road westbound before you get to the Beltway. It seems ominous. It's at Hemlock Drive, so do watch. Into Sterling, we've had a long-standing crash now out of the travel lane, so trying to recover on 28 northbound, north of the toll road, approaching Sterling Boulevard. So if you're heading up to the Commander's Training Camp, you're getting a little bit better into Ashburn now. And into Riverdale, accident cleanup continues southbound Baltimore Washington Parkway on the ramp to 410. Watch for those delays leaving the Beltway. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
It is indeed going to be hot. Hotter than a Sean Spicer Mambo on Dancing with the Stars. 96 degrees today with the heat index hitting around 103. Tonight, clear skies, overnight low 76. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 98. And Wednesday, sunny with a high hitting 100. Right now, it's 79 degrees at 8:17.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his ringtone super loud, so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text all in one shared workspace. And our AI agent answers 24/7, so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Continuing now with Sean Spicer. Of course, the Sean Spicer Show is available on all platforms, video and audio. Wherever you like to watch or listen to those shows, make sure you subscribe. It is must-view was going to say television, but that's sort of an outdated term, every night at 6 p.m. Sean, obviously, a lot of interest in this Russian collusion story. I know that you are interested not just as from a political and news perspective, but also on a personal level, because you were there. You saw how this story sort of handicapped and handcuffed the administration before it even started, before Trump was even sworn in. We now see a paper trail leading back to President Obama himself directing the intelligence community to basically come up with the assessment to back up the conclusion that he determined, which is not the way they're supposed to work. The intelligence is supposed to help you reach a conclusion. Instead, they reached their conclusion that Putin had successfully interfered with the election, and he did it because he wanted Trump to win. That narrative that Trump was an illegitimate president and he was really there to serve Moscow instead of the U.S. was absolutely devastating. And I want you to sort of reflect on what you're learning now from your perspective, because you were there, but also, if you could, reveal a little bit about what happened in that infamous Trump Tower briefing. James Comey goes to brief Donald Trump about the so-called Steele dossier when Comey knew that it was a fraud. John Brennan knew it was a fraud. It shouldn't have been in the intelligence community assessment, but they briefed him, and then within 24 hours, there's Jake Tapper with the breaking anonymous story that James Comey had briefed the president. It was a setup, Sean. The whole thing was a setup.
Absolutely, and I appreciate the way you framed it. But not only that, but when you say it's personal to me, not just in terms of the financial and reputational, et cetera, outcome afterwards, and the damage done to President Trump, that he was suffered, not just reputationally, but the fact that he couldn't, for the first year plus, it was all Russia, Russia, Russia every day. But let me go back to what you just said at the beginning. So there's this meeting at Trump Tower, January 5th. The FBI says we want to brief you on current status. This is, I have a security clearance. I've had one for 20-something years, and I was going to be the incoming White House press secretary. So because I maintained a security clearance, I was one of the handful of people that got to be in there with the president. At the end of the meeting, and this is critical for people to understand because you have a very, Washington understanding audience. People get this, right? Because everyone always has said, well, how does, the way that Trump's interacting with Comey. Now, remember, he's a non-politician. He's never met the guy in his life. He's never interacted with senior intelligence before. And at the end of the meeting, Comey's at the far end of the table. He sits up and says, Mr. President-elect, may I see you privately in the corner of the room? And it was like a teacher pulling a parent aside. He brings him over to the corner. They talk for a few minutes, go upstairs. Then the meeting concludes. We go upstairs to then Mr. Trump's office. And I said, so what was that about? And he says there's this unverified report that's going to be in this intelligence thing and make some wild accusations, but not to worry about it or whatever. And I was like, okay. And then, like you said, 24 hours later, I start getting calls from BuzzFeed and Jake Tapper saying, we've got this Annex A. Now, we had never seen it, remember, and Comey didn't tell him it was done because he said, I'm briefing you on some, basically, when this report is finished, we've got this little thing at the end. It ended up being called Annex A. And it's a bunch of it's salacious, unverified things. And Trump, of course, is like, why are you, okay, thanks. Then we literally have to call Mike Pompeo. He's then a member of Congress and say, get to a SCIF, a secure facility, get the CIA to bring you this document, this Annex A, read it, and then we'll go into a SCIF, get secure lines, and then kind of start to really tell us what's happening. So we're literally behind the eight ball. CNN and BuzzFeed now have seen this before. I'll give you guys the Cliff Note version, but
wait, CNN and BuzzFeed saw this before the incoming administration saw it. And just to fill in the blanks for people, you got Pompeo because he was the incoming CIA director at the time before he switched to state. I just want to fill that in.
Right, and he's a member of Congress. I'm sorry, good point. Yeah, so he's a member of Congress. He's the incoming CIA director. So we call him. He gets to a secure facility. He is able to read it. We're on a secure line in the SCIF that we have in New York, and he's kind of walking through the details of it. Now, here's the kicker. One of the details is that Michael Cohen, who was then the president's advisor and lawyer, went to Prague and did all this stuff. So I called Michael, literally from Mr. Trump's office there, and I said, hey, I got a random question for you. And I didn't want to tip my hand, but I watched enough Law and Order. And I said, hey, Michael, random question. Do you have your passport? And he said, he's one of these guys. Some people do this. I don't. He's like, I actually have it on me. I said, no kidding. How far away are you? He said, I left 20 minutes ago. That was New York. I said,
it's fucking hilarious.
This is really important.
Fucking
I need you to come
hilarious.
back and I want to look at your passport. And he's
They
like,
need a
what?
trim.
I don't know Michael that well. He's like, are you in?
Yeah, long
And I'm
and
like, just trust me. I'm with the president-elect. We're in the dog. I need to see your passport. So he actually says, okay, fine. If that's, that's what Mr. Trump wants. Mr. Trump's going to get it. And so he drives back. I look, and sure enough, there's no prong. And I call Jake and Ben Smith, and then I said, hey, one of these allegations that Michael Cohen went there, he can prove that not only, by the way, he had never left the country. So it wasn't like he went to like Syria and they got smuggled into Prague by 100. Right. He never, he wasn't even out of the country. In fact, he was at a father-daughter visit to some West Coast school with his daughter at the time. And they're like, okay, so what? And I'm like, well, so what? Like, you have this unverified document with an allegation about top aid, which I can definitively prove as false. And yet they were like, well, that's up for people to decide. And I'm like, no. That's actually what you guys, when you do that banana and apple ad, that's called a fact. Your point, what you take this whole thing that Comey is now, that Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard rather, has now declassified. It shows that these people literally weaponized intelligence. They knew what was right, they knew what was wrong, but they wanted to create a narrative because the two things that came out were we colluded with the Russians. Now, first of all, if you remember during the campaign, it was you guys couldn't collude with each other to get a lunch order, and now apparently we're colluding with Putin to win an election. Okay, fine, whatever. But that had to be established as the predicate to therefore then say that we were colluding because Trump was this asset and Putin wanted him to win. Which again, when we look at the actual, and this is where I keep telling people on the left, don't take my word for it. Go read the underlying document because it's from what the intelligence put out. It's clear. They had all this salacious stuff on Hillary Clinton, right? All of this stuff about potentially damning allegations about her use of pharmaceuticals and drugs, et cetera. Whether that's true or not, the bottom line is this. They held back starting in September of dropping any of that information. So if you want Trump to win, you would think that you would destroy her, right? That would be the obvious thing. Like, hey, we can make her unpalatable. So why would Russia, who, quote, wanted Trump to win, not release everything they could on Clinton? Starting in September, they ceased all that stuff. They knew that. And it wasn't until December 6th, a month after the election, that Obama orders this intelligence document to be created. Like, wait, hold on. Suddenly, a month after the election, and by the way, here's the other reason that this is personal for me. I was brought in as an RNC official to the Department of Homeland Security headquarters then on Nebraska Avenue and told by them that based on all of the intelligence and the analysis that there's no way that our elections could ever be hacked. And they wanted me and a couple other officials to vouch for them. Why? Because they believed that Hillary Clinton would win and that Donald Trump would say that the election was rigged. And they wanted us to vouch that their briefing showed that it was impenetrable, that you couldn't hack an election. So they all believed that she would win. It could never happen. And it wasn't until Trump won that they thought, oh, God, we have to create some kind of narrative that this didn't happen. This is embarrassing for us.
And then Russia hacked the election became the talking point that they repeated over.
But Larry, this is the key. This is the absolute key for your audience because I have enough people. Just tell people, go read the documents. Don't take my word. Don't take Larry's word or Julie's word or even Jamie Whitten's word. Go read the documents.
By the way, a lot of people don't know this. Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. It's a skiff. Sean, we got to leave it there.
Oh, yeah.
Great stuff. We'll be watching. This is why we wanted Sean on here, not just for the trade thing, but he was literally in the room as this unplayed and happened. That's why his show is absolute appointment viewing or listening as he covers this story, second only to the way we're covering it right here. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Second. You bet.
It's 8:27. Let's get to Jamie Whitten in the aforementioned skiff.
All right. If you are heading to the Commander's Training Camp today and to Ashburn, it's gotten a bit better. The crash on 28 northbound north of the toll road near Sterling Boulevard cleared. Those delays easing, so you can now take that. It's not going to cost you too much extra time. Into Gainesville, it's a broken down pickup truck, northbound 29, right near Somerset Crossing before you get to Linton Hall Road. Pickup truck driver has called for a tow truck. We're waiting, and we're looking good now. Beltway through Annandale and Tysons, nothing reported blocking, just some of that volume delay. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
We're under a heat alert today through Wednesday. Afternoon highs today will climb between 90 and 95 with heat index values near 100. We'll have mostly sunny skies and northerly breezes. No threat for storms today. We'll fall into the 70s overnight. Tomorrow and Wednesday, both days back into the mid 90s with heat index values over 100 degrees. Tracking thunderstorms Thursday and cooler weather by Friday. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
77 degrees at 8:27.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his phone super loud, so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text all in one shared workspace, and our AI agent answers 24/7, so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at OpenPhone.
Holy fucking Christ!
No miss customers.
Do you know QuickBooks Online can streamline your business finances? With your financial accounts and apps in one place, you can easily see where your business stands, and clearer insights result in more confident business decisions. Get 90% off QuickBooks Online for 3 months. Limited time offer, terms apply.
Choosing a new pharmacy isn't easy, but if you need to do so, the employee owners of Kinney Drugs hope you'll choose us. We've been taking care of our local community since 1903 when Bert Kinney opened our first store in Gouverneur, New York. In fact, we're still headquartered there today. Because we're employee-owned, we don't answer to Wall Street. We answer to Main Street, the people we serve. And we've made it easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com or stop by today.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. You know Grainger offers professional-grade products for every industry, like voltage detectors, harnesses, and hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge, just like you. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Coming up, we'll talk about the U.S. Department of Education going after 5 Northern Virginia school districts for violating federal law. Keep it here. It's 8:30.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 8:30. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. The U.S. has reached a deal this weekend to impose a 15% tariff on goods imported from Europe.
When EU President Ursula von der Leyen was asked what the U.S. was giving up in return, she said a fair exchange was her first priority.
Rebalance, but enable trade on both sides, which means good jobs on both sides of the Atlantic, means prosperity on both sides of the Atlantic, and that was important for us.
Along with continued access to U.S. markets, the EU plans to spend $750 billion on U.S. energy. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A daily pause in fighting and more aid coming for Gaza.
There had been growing international condemnation of Israel from countries which believe it's responsible for starvation in Gaza. Israel's response is to pause fighting for 10 hours each day and allow airdrops of aid. Israel set up new secure avenues for aid convoys. The UN's aid coordinator warns the next few days will be make or break for the 1 in 3 Gazans who have eaten no food for days in a row. He says yesterday most lorries had flour looted from them by desperate civilians. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
The vice mayor and town manager of Purcellville in Loudoun County, Ben Nett and Kwesi Frazier, are in court this morning.
As we've been reporting, the two were arrested last week on multiple felony charges, including conspiracy. This past spring, the Virginia State Police launched a criminal investigation after the town council voted to eliminate the Purcellville Police Department. That decision was later reversed. According to Loudoun Now, Frazier was placed on administrative leave with pay on Friday night.
7 News' John Rogers. Net says he's a victim of weaponized law enforcement. The Dow futures up 16 points. NASDAQ futures up 74. Sports. The Nats and Orioles both win. The Mystics lose. Up next, traffic and weather.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his ringtone super loud, so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text all in one shared workspace. And our AI agent answers 24/7, so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
The way to my heart is with the right business tools like QuickBooks. With features that help automate tasks like invoicing, I never have to start from scratch. Business growth is always on the menu. For a limited time, get 90% off QuickBooks Online, Advanced, and Payroll for 3 months. Terms and conditions apply.
If you need to choose a new pharmacy, Kinney Drugs hopes you'll choose us. We're an employee-owned company that's been taking care of our community since 1903, and we've made it as easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And just like you, he relies on Grainger to help. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
A better life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Once you start to get serious, how long does it take to see results from your new workout routine? Experts we spoke to said best scenario, 2 to 4 weeks, but it could take a couple of months. How quickly you see results depends on a lot of things, whether you're a man or a woman, what kind of exercise you're doing, how consistently you're working out. You want to reach your goal sooner rather than later, you need to focus on higher intensity exercises, like running rather than yoga. Make small changes to your diet. That's going to add up, and that's going to be a lot more sustainable, rather than making sweeping changes that you're likely to give up on before you start to see results. And don't underestimate sleep. We talk about this all the time. Your willpower is so much stronger, and your cravings will be far fewer if you get quality rest, quality sleep every single night. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
WMAL traffic and weather. Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Baltimore Washington Parkway. Hang on if you're heading up toward BWI Airport. The crash is northbound, north of Maryland's Route 100. Initially, it was just one lane getting by, but it looks like right now they've stopped all traffic to hopefully rearrange some of these vehicles, but we're jammed. Again, northbound BW Parkway, north of 100. If you're taking Interstate 95, we do have volume delays each direction between 32 and 895, just the rush hour slowdowns there. Southbound George Washington Parkway, watch for delays as you come off the Beltway heading toward Turkey Run. They're trying to clear that crash. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tracking a heat wave today through Wednesday. High temperatures will get into the mid-90s. Heat index values around 100 today, with heat index values up to 105 tomorrow and Wednesday. Thursday could be stormy with highs in the 80s and highs in the 70s. Much cooler by Friday. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
Right now it is 79 in Leesburg, 77 in Waldorf, 80 at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
Girl, what are you doing? Huh?
How many days till Election Day?
That's right. Actually, now a little under 100 days until the election in Virginia for your next governor. That was Abigail Spanberger with a bunch of white suburban moms cheering her on, because that's the strategy. She dresses in a J. Crew wardrobe, and she just looks like your typical white suburban PTA mom. The difference, though, here is she's not. That's not who she is at all. And she rose to fame in 2018 in the pushback against Trump. And she was like, we need more women in Congress, and we're going to, represent women because Trump is Trump. And she fashioned herself as an expert on national security issues because she used to work for the CIA. And because of that, and because of the conversation we just had, Julie, with Sean Spicer, I think all of her position on the Russian collusion hoax and on the Hunter Biden laptop story and all these other things where she brought her expertise and credentials to the table and said, I know these things. This is who she is. This is her background and her credentials and her experience. She brought it all to the table to give us her wise opinion about all of these issues, right?
Yeah. I also think it's really important that parents look back. She rose to fame, you say, in 2018. That was right before COVID, right before the shutdowns, right before the extended masking of kids. If you were horrified by what happened during that time, she will continue those policies.
Yes, but let's focus. You're right.
Fine.
Absolutely right. I want to focus right now, though, on specifically her. She said, I am competent and I am great to be a governor. Look at my job as a congresswoman and look at my job with the CIA. So now here she was at that time using her position as a former CIA caseworker to talk about these issues. Listen.
I think it's absolutely appropriate that texts should not be pushing Russian and what is there where that's by the United States AI, they obligated to recognize the harm that propaganda from a foreign adversary nation can pose to our elections and our election systems.
What the fuck is going on with this shit this morning?
CIA and Russian propaganda talking about the Hunter Biden laptop, which we know it. So basically, all of these things that we know are hoaxes, she had the ability to know whether it was true or not, and she was wrong, or she lied specifically.
And she shut people down. I'm the expert. I'm the former CIA person. I'm the intelligence community person.
That's right. Your opinion doesn't matter.
Expert. You're an idiot. I have the clearance. I know what's real.
And to your point about the COVID policy,
she did the same thing.
She could not see through that. She denied the Wuhan lab leak story. She was doctrinaire. She is also a radical on gender issues.
Absolutely.
Everything that Gavin Newsom and Tim Walz are doing in their radical left-wing states,
she wants it here. Yep.
She would do it here. And God bless Winsome Sears, who's starting to hit her stride now and pushing back against Abigail Spanberger, I believe. She's out with another banger of an ad. Take a listen to this.
Controversy erupted after a transgender athlete led her softball team to win the Minnesota State High School Championship yesterday.
A transgender high school student will compete after winning the girls' long jump and triple jump.
And I will always vote against any legislative efforts that would, other than hurt them.
And new this morning, Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger has introduced a new bill
misleadingly labeled the Equality Act.
I am a proud co-sponsor of the Equality Act, and I firmly oppose any ability for us to make judgments against, to impose beliefs, and to hurt people.
She's tried to pass herself off as a moderate. A moderate?
Yeah, it's a great ad. And again, uses her own words. She sponsored that so-called Equality Act that harmed girls and continues to harm girls. And this with the backdrop of our education department now reaching the determination that 5 Northern Virginia school districts have violated the Title IX laws with regard to protecting women and girls. Abigail Spanberger will be part of that problem. She'll move it along.
She wants that statewide. Are you kidding? She wants that statewide. In Alexandria, Virginia, they constructed a new high school. The bathrooms are unisex. Okay, she wants new construction of high. I mean, this will expand across the state, and parents will have no rights. And let me tell you, if the General Assembly goes Democrat, thank God for our current governor, Youngkin, who has vetoed. I mean, they can't even keep track. It's unbelievable how many things that he has vetoed. If Spanberger is in with a Democrat-controlled General Assembly, watch out, parents. We're going to have to move. I mean, they will. Yeah.
She does not want to talk about these issues, and I'm glad that Sears is pushing them. I don't know. Have you seen a debate scheduled? Because I don't think she's hiding from her. She's hiding from her record in Congress. She's hiding from her record in the CIA because she was wrong and. If not participated in this hoax. She is hiding from every issue. She's hiding from the gender issue. She's hiding from all of it. And the media is not asking her or challenging her on any of it. Let me tell you something. You take your radical Gavin Newsom style positions and you dress them up with a J. Crew wardrobe and look at me, I'm just right from the PTA meeting, suburban housewife vibe. You can try to cover that up and you can try to put that veneer on it, but they're still radical policies. And she is dangerous for the children of Virginia. This is so important. And I hope Sears just keeps pushing that gender issue, sanctuary policies, and her track record with the CIA. She was part of that deep state hoax. It is 8:43. Reynolds and Power Home team, Keller Williams, they've been recognized as the number 8 mega team in the U.S. for total volume and number 9 for families served. This is according to the 2025 Real Trends and Tom Ferry, the 1,000, featured in the Wall Street Journal. They were ranked number 1 in the entire state of Virginia. In the D.C. metropolitan area alone, they had the honor of serving 653 families last year. Debbie, Sarah, Reynolds, and Power Home team, they are the go-to experts when it comes to getting homes sold, especially those tough-to-sell, expired listings. The ones the other agents couldn't quite figure out. Well, they'll do more than figure it out. They're not just going to put your name on the MLS and hope for the best. No, they bring an aggressive, proven marketing strategy that targets the right buyers to get your home sold. And of course, about their game-changing guarantee. If your home doesn't sell, Debbie and Sarah will buy it on that price that you agree on. Call Debbie and Sarah, Reynolds and Power Home team, to sell your home. Get it sold. 844-344-SOLD. 844-344-SOLD or DebbieHasTheBuyers.com.
Running a business? You know that slow phone systems, missed messages, and communication silos can cost you opportunities. But OpenPhone keeps you connected when it matters most. Because a flexible and intuitive phone system isn't just nice to have, it's essential to succeed. OpenPhone is the number 1 business phone system that streamlines communication and helps teams collaborate seamlessly so they can stay efficient and responsive. With OpenPhone, your team can share one number, collaborating on calls and texts like a shared inbox. And you can say goodbye to voicemail. OpenPhone's AI agent can handle calls, answer customer questions, and capture leads 24/7. So whether you're a one-person operation drowning in calls and texts, or have a large team that needs better collaboration tools, OpenPhone is a no-brainer. Join over 60,000 businesses already using OpenPhone. Get 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/drive. They'll even port your existing numbers for free. That's openphone.com/drive for 20% off. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
8:45 WMAM traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on time. Here's Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Traffic Center.
All right, Larry, good news first. George Washington Parkway southbound as you come off the Beltway. The delays passing Turkey Run and the crash cleared, so you're in good shape there. Now, the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, listen up. If you're heading northbound, heading up toward BWI Airport, we have an incident just north of Route 100 and where 100 merges on. It's a single right lane that gets by, and delays are quickly stacking up, almost back near 175. So if you take 95 as your alternate, that has the rush hour volume delays each direction between 32 and 895. Just so you know, that's going to pick up some of those delays as well. And no problems here on 270 heading down to the Beltway. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tracking a heat wave today through Wednesday. High temperatures will get into the mid-90s. Heat index values around 100 today, with heat index values up to 105 tomorrow and Wednesday. Thursday could be stormy with highs in the 80s and highs in the 70s. Much cooler by Friday. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
82 degrees at 8:46.
Running a business? You know that slow phone systems, missed messages, and communication silos can cost you opportunities. But OpenPhone keeps you connected when it matters most. Because a flexible and intuitive phone system isn't just nice to have, it's essential to succeed. OpenPhone is the number 1 business phone system that streamlines communication and helps teams collaborate seamlessly so they can stay efficient and responsive. With OpenPhone, your team can share one number, collaborating on calls and texts like a shared inbox. And you can say goodbye to voicemail. OpenPhone's AI agent can handle calls, answer customer questions, and capture leads 24/7. So whether you're a one-person operation drowning in calls and texts, or have a large team that needs better collaboration tools, OpenPhone is a no-brainer. Join over 60,000 businesses already using OpenPhone. Get 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/drive. They'll even port your existing numbers for free. That's openphone.com/drive for 20% off. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
Choosing a new pharmacy isn't easy, but if you need to do so, the employee owners of Kinney Drugs hope you'll choose us. We've been taking care of our local community since 1903 when Bert Kinney opened our first store in Gouverneur, New York. In fact, we're still headquartered there today. Because we're employee owned, we don't answer to Wall Street. We answer to Main Street, the people we serve. And we've made it easy as 1, 2, 3 to transfer your prescriptions. Get started at KinneyDrugs.com or stop by today.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
If you have trouble falling asleep at night, you might want to try sleeping in socks. Yeah, I realize some people think this is nearly blasphemous and reason enough to break up with someone. But one leading sleep expert we talked to explained it like this. When your body is getting ready to go to bed,
Chuck, what are you
your core
doing?
temperature drops a degree or two, making you sleepy, ready to nod off. It's a process called distal vasodilation that works by widening blood vessels in the extremities, particularly your hands and your feet, which increase heat loss through the skin. So, as the skin warms, the core of your body cools. Now, if you're wearing socks, your feet become warmer, more blood flows to your feet, and your core temperature falls faster. Then it's lights out. Look, if you're too hot or you hate it, at least you gave it a shot. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger, who does the same. You know Grainger offers professional-grade products for every industry, like voltage detectors, harnesses, and hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery. So he can rise to every challenge, just like you. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low cost. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Do you know QuickBooks Online can streamline your business finances? With your financial accounts and apps in one place, you can easily see where your business stands, and clearer insights result in more confident business decisions. Get 90% off QuickBooks Online for 3 months. Limited time offer, terms apply.
Making sense of your world.
This is no conspiracy theory. This is a fact. Here it is.
Mark Levin, weekdays 6 to 9 p.m.
Listen to this, would you?
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
You know, we love talking to Scott Walker, Young America's Foundation. He made a big announcement, by the way, Julie, I don't know if you saw over the weekend, that he will not be. A lot of people were pushing him to try to run for governor again in Wisconsin in 26, but he announced officially, and I'm a big fan of Scott Walker. I think he's great. He said, no, my role with Young America's Foundation is way more important, building young conservative voices. You look at how this last election went by. It is underreported what an impact Scott Walker and Young America's Foundation, our friend Jessica Jensen and then Spencer Brown and the whole team over there did. Charlie Kirk gets a lot of headlines, and he does a great job with young voters too. But yeah, they kick butt over there.
Yes, they really do.
And he announced that he's going to stay with the F, and I'm happy to hear that. Meanwhile, Democrats, liberals are really struggling with young voters. And to that end, they had their own sort of thing. It's called the Voters Tomorrow event for young
summit.
Fight
for our future summit. Yeah.
Right. There you go. Fight for the future. So the keynote was Kamala Harris. Sort of. She sent in a video.
Yeah.
Take a listen.
Hello, voters of tomorrow. I want to thank you for everything you all are doing to organize, empower, and advocate for Gen Z. I am so excited about your work. It is critically important that we have organizations such as this who understand that we must be intentional about lifting up our young leaders and encouraging your ambition. Your generation has grown up on the front lines of so many crises, from COVID and the climate crisis to gun violence and mental health. You know what's at stake, And you are not waiting for someone else to figure it
Maybe
out.
done.
Okay, great. Yeah, all right, enough.
My ears are bleeding. Honestly.
She literally phoned it in.
Well, and I love how she starts off by saying, it is so important. This summit is so important. So important that I'm not going to go. But you know who did show up in person? Nancy Pelosi. And who screams youthful excitement? And who is attracted to politics? Nancy Pelosi. I mean, can you imagine, a less interesting politician to the youth of America? No, there's
nothing says revitalizing the youth vote and energizing young voters like Nancy Pelosi. Although, young college kids, they do like to go out and get drunk. And it sounds like that may have been Nancy's plan too.
Their obligation, but also their employees, their customers, the community they lived in. So about 30 times. Stakeholder capitalism. Now we've moved to shareholder capitalism, where the CEO of the company is making like 300 or 400 times what their workers are making.
Totally.
She's said she's been doing the Napa Valley wine thing. And how inspiring was that for the young voters there? That's it's good stuff. 8:53.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
Here in the United States, colorectal cancer is the third leading cause of cancer-related death for men. It's number 4 for women. While there are some things you can't do to lower your risk, such as having inflammatory bowel disease or not, or Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, there are many things you can do. One of the main causes of colorectal cancer is being overweight or obese. So you want to target a healthy BMI, better nutrition, more exercise, sufficient quality sleep. Now, speaking of diet specifically, a lot of studies have now linked eating too much red and processed meat with colorectal cancer. So specifically, try to cut back on those. One other risk factor is having diabetes, which might require you to get some help from your doctor to get that under control. Try to cut back on how much alcohol you drink. And of course, as always, just don't smoke. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
School absences are often due to the absence of necessary resources. But when Communities in Schools is present, students are connected to the support they need to show up ready to learn. Visit communitiesinschools.org. Being present matters.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed. Shopify thinks ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business, but Shopify is doing it to me because it's so easy to use. It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at Shopify.com. Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're crushing morning miles or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
It's 8:55 now. WMAL traffic and weather every 10 minutes. First on the 5s. Here's Jamie Whitten and the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
All right, Julie, I'm so happy. Good news to close out this hour. On the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, they just reopened all the lanes. Northbound BW Parkway, if you're heading up toward BWI, the incident north of 100 cleared. Yes, we still have the residual delays, but it is quickly clearing. Southbound, still watch for that volume delay. And Dick Jessup with the morning commute. Beyond that, wide open to the Beltway. Still far, various Beltway delays. Outer loop slows off the spur, heading toward the American Legion Bridge, but lanes are reported open. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Hot sunshine in store this Monday. Afternoon highs will climb to about 95 with heat index values around 100. So to heat the big weather story today, fortunately, we're not expecting thunderstorms. Tomorrow and Wednesday, hot again with highs around 97. We will track thunderstorms Thursday with a cold front that'll drop temperatures Friday into the 70s. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
81 degrees at 8:56.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed. Shopify thinks ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business, but Shopify is doing it to me because it's so easy to use. It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at Shopify.com.
I'm Taylor, 32, and I'm a catering chef. Some say cooking is hard. I say finding the right business tool is harder. Until I found QuickBooks. Now my confidence is on fire. Every task that burned me out, like matching business transactions, taken care of. This duo is chef's kiss. More time for my catering business means more time for growth. For a limited time, get 90% off QuickBooks Online, Advanced, and Payroll for 3 months. Terms and conditions apply.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're grinding out bicep curls or muscling the couch across the living room, crushing morning miles, or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, Smoothie King has fuel to help you maximize your workouts, own your recovery, and elevate your game. Give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs with a lineup of delicious smoothies made to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
For the 8th year in a row, Finland is the world's happiest country, according to the just-released 2025 World Happiness Report. The United States earned its lowest ranking yet, number 24. That said, the report did find people are generally kinder than you'd expect. One of the founding editors encouraged us to think of a stranger in the street as simply a friend you haven't met yet, and not somebody who poses a threat to you. Look, one thing we can all learn from Finland and its Nordic neighbors is to focus on the personal rather than the material. I remember my friend Deepak Chopra giving me similar advice many years ago. Turn the me upside down and make it we, he said, gesturing with his hands. Sure enough, strong social networks and positive views of the future are what ranks some of those countries at the top of the list. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched online? It's data brokers. They collect your personal info, your browsing habits, where you live, and who you're related to, and then sell it to the highest bidder. Aura helps stop that. Aura automatically removes your personal info from data broker sites and keeps it off. It also monitors the dark web, protects your devices, alerts you to real-time threats, and more. Start your free trial at aura.com/listen. That's AURA.com/listen for your free trial.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 9. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. At this hour, Purcellville's vice mayor and town manager are due in court to answer to multiple felony charges.
Vice Mayor Carl Natt and Town Manager Kwesi Fraser were both arrested last week on felony charges related to bid rigging and conspiracy. Natt, a former police officer, was also charged with violations related to a statewide data communications network for criminal justice agencies. Loudoun County Sheriff's deputies arrested the men last week. Natt tells 7 News.
I was stunned by the level of response and what I view as an escalation of political retaliation.
Sheriff's Office spokesperson Tom Julia.
Both were released on bail.
Heather Curtis on WM.
There, I think that's really alarming.
Now, while some support enforcement in public spaces like this, others argue this kind of policing could target people unfairly. Since that executive order took effect, Park Police say they've made nearly 470 arrests in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia.
7 News' John Gonzalez. People who live along the Anacostia in Northeast D.C. are bracing for a possible sewage overflow. This follows the collapse of a sewer line in the area last week.
So without the use of the sewer line, waste flow could outpace storage and containment. If this happens, officials may divert sewage into Beaver Dam Creek, which feeds into the Anacostia River. With rain in the forecast, the system already straining, pressure is building. If this does happen, you'll need to avoid the waterways. Signs will be posted out there.
7 News' Josh Chapin. The good news is this would not impact your drinking water. Those intakes are in the Potomac River, not the Anacostia. Should Virginia move away from its odd year state election schedule? It is being considered.
I'm sick of being everybody's political test tube baby or whatever we are.
Senate Majority
They focus more on doing their job.
As opposed to focusing on the power of special interests. There's also Virginia being on a solo stage. Longtime analyst Bob Holsworth.
Everybody's looking at this nationally, and the national media, as you see, gives enormous attention to what is happening here.
It would take years to complete the change, with a full overhaul not finalized until 2040. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
The Secret Service took a man into custody Sunday afternoon after he scaled a fence outside of the U.S. Treasury building and dropped a bag at the fence line. The D.C. Police Bomb Squad was brought in to examine that bag, which turned out not to be dangerous. The man was taken to a local hospital for a medical evaluation. He faces charges for unlawful entry and being a fugitive from justice, and a charge on an outstanding warrant in another jurisdiction. The Treasury building borders the White House, though there were no Secret Service protected people home at the time of the incident. The Dow futures up 44 points. NASDAQ futures up 99. Traffic and weather next.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Imagine a life free from the stress of financial worries. With Countrywide Debt Relief, our consultants are here to guide you toward financial peace. Visit CountrywideDebtRelief.com today to learn more.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're crushing morning miles or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood.
Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
WMAL traffic and weather. Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Some more Washington Parkway lanes reopened northbound just north of Route 100. Earlier incident cleared. Just the residual delays left but easing. Southbound still slows with the rush hour volume into Jessup. No late problems on 95. Getting down to the Beltway looks good. Into Gainesville, broken down pickup truck giving us delays northbound 29 Lee Highway right near Somerset Crossing. 66, no late troubles both inside and outside the Beltway. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tracking a heat wave today through Wednesday. High temperatures will get into the mid-90s. Heat index values around 100 today, with heat index values up to 105 tomorrow and Wednesday. Thursday could be stormy with highs in the 80s and highs in the 70s. Much cooler by Friday. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen.
82 degrees now at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
Free speech today.
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are, but we've had free speech for a very, very long time here. So we're very proud about that.
And there was, yes, the president and the prime minister having a curious exchange with the media on the steps of Trump's place in the UK, in Turnberry, Scotland. Isn't that amazing? Well, it's the Monday. It is the Chris Plant Show. One more day, Michael Pelka in for my buddy Chris Plant. He returns tomorrow. How was your weekend? I will tell you, I think the President of the United States had a pretty darn good weekend. And as evidence on several fronts, which we will get to. President Donald John Trump yesterday announcing what has been called by Bloomberg, not exactly the biggest fan of the Trump administration, but this trade deal that was struck with the European Union and announced yesterday. Oh boy, was that a good deal. An incredible deal. Just to, overview points here. $600 billion in investments in America by the EU. And they're going to buy a whole bunch of energy from us and not from Russia. And they're going to let American companies compete on every level with zero tariffs. So we're talking cars, we're talking food, benefits to American manufacturing and farming. This is great. And then you have suddenly the UK going, well, we want a deal too, sir. We want a deal too. So you have Keir Starmer sitting down as we speak with the President of the United States. If anything big comes out of it, there were a couple of moments before they went in and sat down in front of the media that I think were worth repeating. But I think it's really curious about all of this that's happening. The President of the United States went over to Scotland. Friday he left, and the media was saying, what's he doing? Well, he said he's got some unfinished business he has to take care of. And it sounded vague. And then on Saturday, late Friday and Saturday, we saw a video of the president playing golf with his son, Eric. And the left was, well, he's enriching himself. He's highlighting his golf courses. He's once again not doing the president's job. It turns around on Sunday, sitting down with Ursula was it von der Leyen, the president of the EU, strikes the biggest deal ever. And she's happy about it. The EU president appeared to be ebullient about it. She was over the moon. She was so thrilled to see this happen. Just amazing. And so this deal, which, as we've said, will be just fantastic for the United States, then triggered, I think, what is the next deal, which is the one that we're going to hear about much later. The deal that's probably coming with Keir Starmer. There were also discussions on the steps into Donald Trump's building, his golf course center hotel on Turnberry in Scotland. And I want you to pull back. The President of the United States goes to Scotland, and European leaders come to visit him. He didn't go to the EU capital. He didn't go to the EU headquarters and have a sit down. These people came to him. Have you read Art of the Deal? Did you go back and look at Art of the Deal? Do you see the home court advantage that Donald Trump is holding over these people? This is truly remarkable. It really is great. It's fantastic. And I want to play some of the clips from the front steps of Turnberry. But I am laughing because Donald Trump, yes, the White House has certain power when you invite leaders to the White House. But when Donald Trump goes to a foreign country, he doesn't have to surrender the home court advantage because he's got properties. So they come to him. It's just an amazing silent advantage that people aren't even talking about. Agree, disagree, you're always welcome to join us here on the Chris Plant Show, 888-630-9625, 888-630-9625. I was watching in amazement at the president and what he was getting done in such a short period of time. At the same time this trade deal is coming together, there also are negotiations restarting or continuing with China. And I gotta believe China and Russia are both doing the hamana right now. the Ralph Cramden, because Donald Trump has struck trade deals with Japan, which we thought the Japan trade deal was great. And then we started hearing about the EU deal. And now there's going to be a UK deal. No doubt. And in the heart of all of these deals with places like Japan and the EU and ultimately the UK are stipulations that these countries will buy energy from America. That is gigantic because this is going to put Russia and China in a box. These countries are not just buying energy from America, they're buying weapons from America, so that we will have our allies have the best equipment to fight off China and Russia. This is a great deal. Really good stuff. Additionally, the president announced today from the steps of his property in Turnberry that he's negotiating peace. We had a little problem in the Asian Pacific region. We had a little problem with some enemies fighting each other. But let's hear some of these questions and comments from the president, because I think it really is remarkable. He's answering on the fly as he's walking into his building. And I have to apologize because when you show up in Scotland and the UK leaders there, they're playing bagpipes as the British Prime Minister's walking in. And look, I love bagpipes at special events like military funerals for first responders, sad events like that. There's nothing more touching than bagpipes. But just in general, bagpipes are one of the most irritating forms of music, I'm sorry to say. But the president today, as he's walking up the steps, talking about negotiating another ceasefire, this time between Cambodia and Thailand.
As you know, with Cambodia, they just announced a very big peace. That was going to be a very bad war, and so we're honored we got involved, and it's essentially settled. I think they're going to be settling it today, so it went for a few days. That was going to go on for years. That could have gone on for years. Millions of people could have been killed. He ended the war, and we're very happy about it.
Seriously, I'm happy about the peace, but waterboarding or bagpipes, which is worse torture? Waterboarding or bagpipes? I'm not a fan, but it's there. It's running throughout. I think it finally ran out at the end of this back and forth. One of the reporters asked President Trump if they were talking about the situation in Gaza. They were talking also about recognizing Palestine as well, because Macron wants to give the Palestinians a state just without ending the war. Just hand it to them. Let Hamas keep doing what they're doing. And I think Starmer's kind of on the same track.
The Prime Minister says that recognizing the Palestinian state would be a concrete step towards the lasting peace. Do you agree with it? Well, I'm not going to take a position. I don't mind him taking a position. I'm looking for getting people fed.
Now, I'm stopping right there. And again, apologies for the bagpipes. The president, in just true off-the-cuff diplomacy, he's welcome. Keir Starmer is welcome to take a position. I'm not taking one. I want to get people fed. He's seen some of the videos about the starvation
about people
in Gaza. And by the way, some of the videos are Bravo Sierra, and we'll get to that later. But the president's saying, shifting from the focus on this Palestinian solution, I'm using air quotes with my fingers, to a real humanitarian crisis, and pointing out that we, America, are doing something.
Right now, to me, that's the number one position. Because you have a lot of starving people. You have people that, the United States recently, just a couple of weeks ago, we gave $60 million. It's a lot of money. No other nation gave money. I know the Prime Minister would if he knew about it, and he really knows about it now because we're going to be discussing it. But we gave $60 million. Nobody said even thank you. Thanks. Somebody should say thank you. But other nations are going to have to step up. When I spoke to Ursula yesterday, she said that the European nations are going to step up very substantially too.
Thank God the bagpipes ended. But we stepped up and we put up money to try and get food to whoever needs food in that area. And I think that very public statement by President Trump is also meant to spur investment by the others who are in the region and involved and haven't maybe stepped up as much as we have. That's great. That's great. I think this is a very exciting day. We will have more from the president. Just pop right up. So the European Union wisely made a deal, made it happen, and no 30% tariff. They've got a 15% tariff. We don't pay any tariff. And now we're also having the ability to sell into these markets. Join the conversation today. So much to get to. Yeah, I want to talk about the latest news about Democrats and how the country feels about them because it's fun. And we'll have more Democrats say the dumbest things today because that's fun too. The Senate's going in recess at the end of the week, so we'll have to deal with that. And the controversy, as our Australian friends would say, the controversy about American Eagle jeans and the ad that bubbled up last week at the end of the week with Sydney Sweeney and how the left has freaked out over it. We'll get to that because it's fun. And we'll also take your calls. Let's grab one here as we're wrapping up the first segment. Chris is in New Jersey. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the Chris Plant Show.
How you doing, sir? Yes. What I was telling your call screener, I was thinking about V Vendetta and again how Hollywood flips the narrative. And the truth is the left are the ones who are suppressing free speech and are going out using goon squads, just like in that movie, but going after people who are saying, hey, this illegal immigration stuff is killing us. But again, everything that the left and the Democrats do over there, Democrats over there, they're just the left, is the reverse.
Yeah, it's so funny. And Chris says it. I agree. I've said it too. The left points a finger at you. There's 3 pointing right back at them. When they accuse you of doing something, it's usually because they are doing it themselves. And that I know you couldn't see the video, but in the opening clip when the president was asked about free speech and he talked about how we love free speech, Starmer's face started going into all kinds of twitches. Yep. And he jumps up and said, we have free speech here. Oh, is that why you arrest people who are praying on the sidewalk across the street from abortion clinics? Yeah, free speech does not exist in the UK. That's why they go to the homes and talk about arresting people who posted something that was insulting on social media. No, that First Amendment is something I will fight for all my life. They do not have what we have, and we can never, ever stop fighting for it. Thank you, Chris. Excellent opening call. 888-630-9625 is the number. Well, let's have some fun today. On a Monday, it's Mike Opelka in for Chris Plant on the Chris Plant Show.
WMAL.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Much better on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway if you're heading northbound past Route 100. Incident and delays just about cleared out. Southbound to watch for a bit of volume into Jessup and passing 32. Southbound on the 270, spur slows to join the outer loop heading toward the American Legion Bridge. Into Chantilly, northbound 28 north of 50, had the incident reported. Watch for delays before Willard Road. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Now that's happening at 10 a.m. at the John Wilson Building. You can sign up.
It'll be a steamer today. Sunny and hot with a high 97. Heat index as high as 103. Clear skies overnight, low 76.
Do you know QuickBooks Online can help you streamline much more of your business finances? With your financial accounts and apps in one place, you can easily see where your business stands. You can automate tedious tasks,
Run your business on the go with the mobile app and get insights to make confident business decisions. Get all the financial tools you need all in one place for clearer financial visibility. Learn more about growing your business and get 90% off QuickBooks Online for 3 months. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
I'm Brent, and I've been on Nutrafol for almost 5 years now. When my hair first started thinning, I wanted to attack the problem head on. I liked Nutrafol because it was a hair growth supplement that was completely drug-free. After 3 months, my hair got stronger and thicker, which gave a huge boost to my social life. I mean, it was life-changing, to be honest.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com/men. That's Nutrafol.com/MEN. Real customers were compensated to share their stories.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional grade supplies for every industry, even hard to find products. And we have same day pickup and next day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're grinding out bicep curls or muscling the couch across the living room, crushing morning miles, or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, Smoothie King has fuel to help you maximize your workouts, own your recovery, and elevate your game. Give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs with a lineup of delicious smoothies made to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
If you are like most people, you've probably spent a lot of time on your phone today. Maybe you missed out on getting some things done because of it. But according to new research out of the UK, your phone might not be the problem when it comes to distraction. The study's author said, while users unsurprisingly engage more with their smartphone when it is easily accessible, the amount of time spent on work and non-work activities and the fragmentation of their workday does not seem to depend on the smartphone's accessibility. In other words, people distract themselves with whatever is around themselves. The best thing you can do is to set some boundaries about when, where, and how you use your phone. I have found that setting up some VIP alerts, for example, for certain people, that has helped me a lot. But the key is to just not be so distracted. A lot of things can wait. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
I'm Brent, and I've been on Nutrafol for almost 5 years now. When my hair first started thinning, I wanted to attack the problem head on. I liked Nutrafol because it was a hair growth supplement that was completely drug-free. After 3 months, my hair got stronger and thicker, which gave a huge boost to my social life. I mean, it was life-changing, to be honest.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com/men. That's Nutrafol.com/MEN. Real customers were compensated to share their stories.
Hey, 20 would you bid 30, 30 would you bid 40. That's the sound you're going to hear at the next Brostek auction. Hi, I'm Bernie Brostek of Brostek's Real Estate Auction Company of Baldwinsville, New York, and I have 40 years of proven experience in selling antiques, businesses, estates, households, residential and commercial and waterfront real estate. Call me at 678-2000 for a free, no-obligation consultation and find out how you can receive top cash price for your real estate and personal property in one day the Brostek auction way. And it's sold.
WMAL.
It is the Chris Plant Show, Monday. Mike Opelka in just one more day for my buddy Chris Plant returning from his cruise, and I'm sure he will regale you all with stories of what the lucky people on board the ship got to experience. I've seen some of the pictures. It looked like it was a stone gas, man. In the meantime, the American president has just been putting on a masterclass in both diplomacy and negotiation on tariffs. And all those people who were predicting the American economy is going to crash like an ocean liner into an iceberg were just wrong at this point. Even Bill Maher is starting to say, I think I got this one wrong. I think I may have called this incorrectly. And yesterday, the big news out of the major deal with the European Union, just a little outtake from the president with the European Union president, Ursula von der Leyen, talking about this deal.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for the president. What are the U.S. concessions? What is the U.S. giving up in the deal?
So the starting point was an imbalance, a surplus on our side and a deficit on the US side. And we wanted to rebalance the trade relation. And we wanted to do it in a way that trade goes on between the two of us across the Atlantic, because the two biggest economies should have a good trade flow between us.
Now, the question was, what is the U.S. giving up? And basically, this sounds like a concession speech from the European Union. Well, we had an imbalance and we wanted to rebalance. Yeah, they were sticking it to America. And Trump basically went and said 30% starts on August 1st.
And I think we hit exactly the point we wanted to find. Rebalance, but enable trade on both sides, which means good jobs on both sides of the Atlantic, means prosperity on both sides of the Atlantic. And that was important for us.
Yeah, that was important for us. It's important for us too, madam. Thank you. And thank you. And this opening of the European Union markets to American producers of cars, of food, of anything. This is remarkable. This was not happening. And President Trump's the guy who came in, and he's been talking about this. I watched some video of Donald Trump, the businessman, with Oprah, the old talk show host, years ago, over 30 years ago, and he was saying the same thing. The world is sticking it to America, and it's not fair. And finally, on Donald Trump 2.0, it looks like the world is finally going, yeah, you're right, it wasn't really fair, and we got to do something about it. There's so much more on not only this meeting with the European Union president, but what the president's talking about with the UK prime minister. And what else is going to come down? We've got food aid for Gaza, peace in Indonesia, and more trade around the world. It's Michael Pelka in for Chris Plant on the Chris Plant Show.
WMAL.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
For your ride on 270, no late troubles between Frederick and Rockville. But hang on, Spur is jammed to join the outer loop. Roadwork is set up ahead before you get to the American Legion Bridge, blocks the right lane. Delays to the Wilson Bridge have cleared out. No late problems out of Stafford, 95 north to the Beltway. Southbound, a bit of volume now heading into Woodbridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
It'll be a steamer today, sunny and hot with a high 97, heat index as high as 103. Clear skies overnight, low 76.
Ever get the feeling you're being watched online? It's data brokers. They collect your personal info, your browsing habits, where you live, and who you're related to, and then sell it to the highest bidder. Aura helps stop that. Aura automatically removes your personal info from data broker sites and keeps it off. It also monitors the dark web, protects your devices, alerts you to real-time threats, and more. Start your free trial at aura.com/listen. That's AURA.com/listen for your free trial.
Do you know QuickBooks Online can help you streamline much more of your business finances? With your financial accounts and apps in one place, you can easily see where your business stands. You can automate tedious tasks, run your business on the go with the mobile app, and get insights to make confident business decisions. Get all the financial tools you need all in one place for clearer financial visibility. Learn more about growing your business and get 90% off QuickBooks Online for 3 months. Limited time offer, terms apply.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed. Shopify thinks ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business, but Shopify is doing it to me because it's so easy to use. It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at Shopify.com.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
For the 8th year in a row, Finland is the world's happiest country, according to the just released 2025 World Happiness Report. The United States earned its lowest ranking yet, number 24. That said, the report did find people are generally kinder than you'd expect. One of the founding editors encouraged us to think of a stranger in the street as simply a friend you haven't met yet, and not somebody who poses a threat to you. Look, one thing we can all learn from Finland and its Nordic neighbors is to focus on the personal rather than the material. I remember my friend Deepak Chopra giving me similar advice many years ago. Turn the me upside down and make it we, he said, gesturing with his hands. Sure enough, strong social networks and positive views of the future are what ranks some of those countries at the top of the list. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. You know Grainger offers professional-grade products for every industry, like voltage detectors, harnesses, and hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery. So he can rise to every challenge, just like you. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You know a safe-ish home security solution when you see one. The stuff that kind of seems like it works, but doesn't. The key under your welcome mat, the security camera that isn't a real camera, the guard dog on duty sign when everyone knows the dog is Mr. Buttons. The thing is, safe-ish doesn't actually keep you and your home safe, but ADT can help with smart, easy-to-use security you can rely on. Don't settle for safe-ish. Get ADT.
Out here, it's not only the amazing views, but the way time stretches out a little longer, how laughter bellows louder among friends, and how the breeze hits just right at the summit. With All Trails, you can discover and experience the best of nature. With over 450,000 trails worldwide and navigation right at your fingertips. Find your outside with All Trails. Download the free app today and find your next outdoor adventure.
My name is Georgios Setis. I'm the co-founder of Nutrafol. My hair started thinning in my early 20s. I tried everything and nothing was really working. So we created Nutrafol. Our hair growth supplements undergo clinical trials and have helped millions of men and women get visibly thicker and stronger hair in just 3 to 6 months.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com.
WMAL, making sense of social media, because big tech can't be trusted. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
It is the Chris Plant Show. Michael Pelka sitting in on this Monday. Chris returns tomorrow. Tuesday is his Monday. He's back from the cruise and should just be overloaded with stuff going on because boy, oh boy, is there a lot happening in the last couple of days, especially in the arena of trade with the new trade deal announced with the European Union. Now, the president is currently at his Turnberry, Scotland golf course and resort, and he is welcoming the British Prime Minister. Think about it. This is a state visit, but the President of the United States is the host. The guy who's the Prime Minister of the host country is not the host. That is a giant script flip by Donald Trump. And I'm not sure what's going on at the moment. Let's just dip in for a moment here and see what they're talking about.
Lose their shield. The hostages are a shield for them. They did horrible things on October 7th. And the hostages are a shield. And I said, you're going to get down a number, and the number's going to be at a point where you're not going to be able to get them back unless you're going to be very energetic, or to put it a different way, unless you're going to be very ruthless and violent. It's a bad situation to be in. Very bad.
Mr. President, with the EU deal last night, you talked during the campaign about President Putin respecting you and not helping you to have a relationship with him. Do you still feel that way, that he respects you, considering the conversations you've had that have been really nice?
Yeah. I've always gotten along with President Putin. I have had a great relationship with him. And he went through the Russia hoax too. I mean, it was, we used to talk about it. We used to say, it's too bad we really can't do anything between our countries. Because if we did, they'd say, look, I was tough on Putin because I was the one that closed up Nord Stream and Biden came along and opened it up. I was very tough on Putin in one way, but we got along very well. And I never really thought this would happen. I thought we'd be able to negotiate something out. And maybe that'll still happen, but it's very late down the process. So I'm disappointed. And the funny thing is that their economy isn't that big and it's having a hard time right now, but it's a relatively small economy.
Right.
A strong military, but strong
sample
economy.
Of the sit down the president has, and Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, is to his right. And just before we came back from break, one of the reporters asked Donald Trump, "Are you going to visit London?" And he said, "Maybe. I don't like the mayor very much. He's a terrible job. He's doing a horrible job." And Starmer almost went apoplectic and jumped in and said, "Well, he's a friend of ours. He's a friend of mine." And Trump goes, "He's still doing a bad job. He's done a horrible job in London." So we'll see. And the president said he may visit London. But I think Donald Trump would like to see Nigel Farage become the mayor of London. And who knows, that might happen. But at the start of that little moment, President Trump focusing on Gaza and the hostages, which our president has been pushing for the complete and total end of the conflict, the military conflict, as long as the hostages are released. And they don't seem to be getting released. And he keeps pointing that out. He, Donald Trump. And the issue of food, which the left side of the mainstream media on Friday and Saturday, we were bombarded with really gut-wrenching images of children who appeared to be horrifically malnourished, starving, if you will. And it is so hard to watch. And then somebody uncovered that one of the young people that was shown was not a victim of starvation, but was a person who had a sickness, an illness that caused their emaciated appearance. I'm sure there are people who are having struggles with food, but it's likely not the fault of Israel. In fact, I just saw this report from one of the areas where all the food is stacked, waiting to get into Gaza.
From Gaza, where I am surrounded by 600 trucks worth of aid that has been sitting in the sun, some of it for over a month. And yet it's Israel's fault that has happened. Now, the truth of the matter is this is sitting here because the United Nations have made it a point to leave it here. And only now are they trying to scramble with publicity by letting you believe that there's this famine that's gone so far out of hand because you continuously believe that everything falls on Israel.
Yeah, that is the argument that the left is going to make. Now, in the aftermath of a very successful campaign by the IDF to really shut down Hamas, unfortunately, the region wouldn't let people out. Egypt wouldn't take people wanting to leave Gaza, and all they had to do was open the door. It's amazing who doesn't want the Palestinians. The neighbors don't want them because of the bad actors inside the organization. But this crisis that Donald Trump is talking about, hey, we put up 50 million. We need the rest of the world to step up. He's leading by example. So we are seeing a potential for a serious humanitarian crisis as it relates to starvation. But there are some untruths being foisted upon us. 888-630-9625 is the number, 888-630-9625. Let's go to Mark in Woodbridge, Virginia. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Michael, thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I was actually just calling in to comment on the exact same thing you just mentioned about the starvation, the hunger issue in Gaza. And
That's very frustrating, is it not?
Yeah, because, and I was just looking at two different recent reports online. One of them is some Christian Broadcasting Network. They do a lot of reports on Israel, and there's another one, News Nation. Just what you talked about, you at the UN holding supplies, and I'm thinking that possibly, from what I've heard in the past, Hamas themselves are purposely starving their own people to make it look like Israel's the bad guy, and this has been going on for years. I mean, other things that Israel has been supplying, Israel's own IDF, members of the IDF were reporting on it, showing video of right next to them, hundreds and hundreds of pallets of food just sitting there. So it bears mentioning, but you've already talked about it, so I appreciate it.
No, it's an issue that, when the media doesn't have complete honesty on it, they end up tilting, CNN and MSNBC tilting to the left and demonizing Israel and not being fair on this. And I'm happy that I'm sorry that there is hunger in the region, but I'm happy that the real story is getting out. And I know Chris has kind of talked about this. If we go back in time, the world gave Hamas and the Palestinian people billions of dollars to create infrastructure with plumbing so they could have fresh water for all the people in the region. And instead of building fresh water infrastructure, they used that PVC piping and made launchers, and they were launching grenades with it. So it's no surprise to me when the food gets misappropriated and all the stuff that we send there is not delivered. It's very frustrating and sad for the people who are the victims. But thank you, sir. Appreciate you being there, Mark. And there he goes. Other issues today that we have to talk about. Could Congresswoman Nancy Mace be considering a run for governor? She teased something just a while back. South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace, the first female grad, I think she was the first female grad from the Citadel, former Waffle House waitress, as she said, and a fighter against the transgender madness, teased that she's got a big announcement coming. And the word is that she might be running for governor in South Carolina. We'll see what happens on that. That's at least the news. Now, there's thehill.com is reporting it's coming in a couple of days. And yet this morning she said the special announcement coming soon. So maybe because things are leaking, that's going to be breaking news. Since Friday, when we were last here together on Friday and Donald Trump was heading to Scotland, the big stories were still swirling around the Epstein files and whether or not we were actually going to get the full story. And Ghislaine Maxwell, who was having a second sit down with the DOJ prosecutor. And the other story about what Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, released last week that appears to show really some terrible stuff that happened that went after Donald Trump, both before his election in 2016 and after his election in 2016. Both of those stories seem to have gotten pushed off the front page just a little bit by the fact that Donald Trump is racking up W's as he's in Scotland. The tariff deal with the European Union, expecting to hear something out of the British Prime Minister, and then the potential of a peace deal in Indonesia, which it would be a great thing, and more food aid for Gaza. It's funny how all the good news seems to push all the crazy speculation off the front page. But it doesn't mean that the crazies aren't out there still prattling on. And they are prattling on in record numbers. We're going to talk about what Al Sharpton has to say. No, I will not call him Reverend. I will never call him Reverend. What Al Sharpton has to say about the potential, because he's apparently considering suing Donald Trump. Sharpton wants to sue Donald Trump for, I guess, smearing him or something. Funny. Pot, kettle. You see what I'm talking about there? We'll get to that. And I promised you details on the Democrats' numbers. Harry Enton, not a condition, not a medical condition. Harry Enton, the stat guy over at CNN, had some brand new numbers that he's talking about as relates to the Democrats and their favorability. Harry, it's on you.
At their net favorable ratings. Whoa, woof. I mean, my God, we mentioned CNN. We had that poll come out a little while ago on their net favorable rating. They were 26 points underwater. You think that's low enough? How about we go even lower? We'll go to this side of the screen. I'm going to walk over here. We go to the Wall Street Journal, minus 30 points.
Now, when you open your report on Democrat favorability with voters with woof, you know it's not good. And your own CNN poll shows the Democrats are down 26 points, lowest on record. And then the Wall Street Journal says, hold my beer. We're talking to people too.
30 points underwater. Their lowest on record. These polls have records going all the way back since the early 1990s. And when it comes to the Democratic Party's net favorable rating in both the Wall Street.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. There's no way to sugarcoat it. The Democrats have a serious problem. Now we are 460 some odd days away from the midterms. And that's an eternity in politics. Wow. That is probably 6 lifetimes in politics. But this is a serious deficit. So what are the Democrats trying to do? Well, the Democrats, I believe, are seeing some of the success that the GOP has had in creating energy in young voters. That the GOP has created this new base of younger voters. And that the efforts from Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA and getting young conservative voters to show up on election day. So the Democrats, it appears that they thought they could do the same thing. And they created this new organization called the Voters of Tomorrow. The Voters of Tomorrow, the VOT. Sounds like a good idea, right? Good idea on paper. But when they put the event together, the VOT event was a gigantic flop, even though it included the last Democrat presidential candidate, Kamala Harris. I have to play for you some of the video from the VOT, the Voters of Tomorrow event. Featured Kamala Harris, a little bit of a word salad.
I found a seed.
She's
I found a seed,
done, as they say in Hollywood, because her appearance was a little startling. And the chubby panda that was leading the event. Yeah, that's right. There was a guy wearing a giant panda head. And he was the man with the microphone on the stage at the Voters of Tomorrow event. We'll share that with you. And you're welcome to join us as well. 888-630-9625, 888-630-9625. Mike Opelka in for Chris Plant on the Chris Plant Show.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show.
WMAL.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Know before you go, we have roadwork set up on the Beltway outer loop before the American Legion Bridge. This is giving us delays now. We're jammed off the 270 spur in the Beltway just after Old Georgetown Road out of Bethesda. Road crews set up in Greenbelt northbound side of the Baltimore-Washington Parkway north of Greenbelt Road. I'm tracking delays out of Riverdale inside the Beltway back near 410. 395 is just about cleared out between the Beltway and the 14th Street Bridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
It'll be a steamer today, sunny and hot with a high 97, heat index as high as 103. Clear skies overnight, low 76.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy Chicken Biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all three if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in the combo while supplies last.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen. Do you know QuickBooks Online can streamline your business finances? With your financial accounts and apps in one place, you can easily see where your business stands and clearer insights, resulting in more confident business decisions. Get 90% off QuickBooks Online for 3 months. Limited time offer, terms apply.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep.
Mattress Firm's July 4th sale ends soon. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses.
Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
The 90s are so back, which is why this Instacart is bringing back everything you loved about them. The prices, the snacks, the prices, the 90s techno, and yeah, the prices. Get 47.2% off $10 orders of select 90s faves, so you can summer like it's 1999 with prices from 1999. $4.72 maximum discount for $10 of eligible items. Expires 9/5 while supplies last. Discount based on CPI comparison.
Out here, we feel things. The sore calves that lead to epic views. The cool waterfall mist during a hot hike. And the breeze that hits just right at the summit. But hey, don't just listen to us. Experience it for yourself. All Trails makes it easy to discover the best of the outdoors. With more than 450,000 trails around the world, points of interest along the trail, and offline maps for always-on navigation. Download the free app today and find your next outdoor adventure.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
If you're someone who drinks a lot of diet soda because you're trying to consume fewer calories, you're going to want to hear the results of this new study. Researchers at USC's Keck School of Medicine found sucralose actually triggers an increase in appetite when consumed in a drink. One expert we spoke to said what's likely happening is all cells in the body require glucose or sugar for energy. The brain is the biggest user, gobbling up about half of all sugar circulating in the blood. While our brains are designed to respond to natural sugars found in whole foods, artificial sugars appear to confuse the brain. They send signals of sweetness without delivering the needed calories. When those calories don't arrive, that's when the brain may send out a signal to go eat, find me some energy, find me some calories. How about that? I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
The Mega Millions jackpot is getting mega huge. Head to your favorite New York Lottery retailer and grab a ticket today for your chance at a massive win. Currently over $100 million. Good luck, New York. Please play responsibly.
This is the story of the one. As a quality technician in a food processing center, she knows that making the right call is the best way to avoid a recall. That's why she trusts Grainger's world-class supply chain to deliver the high-quality supplies she needs to help keep her production line, her equipment, and her customers happy and healthy. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
WMAL, making sense of mainstream media because the double standard is real. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
It is the Chris Plant Show. Michael Telka in for my friend Chris Plant. A couple of updates from the live event with the president speaking to the media in Turnberry, Scotland, at his property. Again, this is so amazing. The president makes a sort of an informal state visit to the UK, and he ends up being the host. And Keir Starmer ends up being second fiddle, which is great. The British Prime Minister kind of flummoxed by all of this. But the president, Donald Trump, was asked about windmills. And he, Donald Trump, without the benefit of a note or teleprompter or IFB in his ear, just rattled off some of the just brutal stats about the stupidity of windmills. Not just the aesthetics that they destroy, the views, the gorgeous scenery, but how dumb it is to use windmills. And how the blades, the giant blades made of carbon fiber, you can't bury them. They're never going to break down. They're just going to become detritus. They're going to poison the earth. And how that, especially the windmills out in the North Sea, are going to start rotting in as soon as 7 or 8 years. And then he compared the power of one well, one oil and gas well that can deliver 1,000 times the energy of the windmills. It was just a brilliant couple of minutes from President Trump. And Starmer tried to, say, oh, we want to have a balanced approach. No, you don't. You're a greenie like everybody else. He's trying to dance on this issue and dance around it. And then someone asked Donald Trump, some media person asked Donald Trump about King Charles. And the president was quite diplomatic, talking about how Charles, the king, loves the environment. He's an environmentalist, and he just wants clean water and clean air, which is what we all want. Very diplomatic. Very diplomatic. Also, a couple of the media weasels jumped in and tried to say, well, what about Ghislaine Maxwell? You're going to pardon her? And the president said, no one has approached me about pardoning her. And this whole story, the latest interest in it has been a hoax, in the words of President Trump. A hoax, especially when you look at the people who are controlling the files, the Comeys, the Brennans, etc. So I think he's successfully holding forth in the UK, and we'll see what happens in terms of a deal. Just around the corner, I do want to get to the alleged threat that Al Sharpton is making, the legal threat that Al Sharpton's making. He's gonna sue Donald Trump for smearing your reputation. Wouldn't one have to have a good reputation in order to have it be smeared, sir? Just saying. We'll play you the curious and truth-challenged comments of Al Sharpton just around the corner. And you can join us too, 888-630-9625. It's Opelka in for Plant on the Chris Plant Show.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning. I'm John Matthews. President Trump is meeting the British Prime Minister in Scotland today, but Gaza tops the agenda.
President Trump was asked if he agrees with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that there's no starvation in Gaza.
Based on television, I would say not particularly, because those children look very hungry.
British leader Keir Starmer going further.
It's a humanitarian crisis. Right. It's an absolute catastrophe.
Prime Minister Starmer is expected to push President Trump to ensure more aid gets to Palestinians in Gaza. The president suggesting that Israel's approach might have to change. In London, Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Global wars are keeping President Trump busy. He told reporters in Scotland this morning,
If I weren't around, you'd have right now 6 major wars going on.
2 weeks after giving Russia 50 days to bring an end to the war in Ukraine, the president today shortened that timeline dramatically, saying he's only going to give Russia another 10 to 12 days to reach peace, reasoning there's no reason in waiting any longer. While expressing skepticism Russia's willing to reach an agreement, he added, quote, I'm disappointed in President Putin. A new federal initiative has people getting arrested for drinking and smoking pot in federal parks in D.C., including DuPont Circle.
The U.S. Park Police confirmed to 7 News 4 arrests in total were made last week, 3 for open containers of alcohol and 1 for public consumption of marijuana. D.C. resident Q Shatai used his phone to document the arrest.
As they searched him, everyone started paying attention to what was going on because it was so jarring.
Police say these arrests are part of an executive order signed by President Donald Trump to make the district, quote, safe and beautiful.
7 News' John Gonzalez, more than 460 arrests have been made in the DMV since March. Dozens of supporters of Montabat, the Manassas Park woman who disappeared last summer, gathered outside the Prince William County Courthouse early Sunday, partially in tribute, partially in protest, to mark the first anniversary of Monta's disappearance last July. The crowd has been resolute in turning out whenever
They got to be somewheres in a little bit, so I'll be back later.
But last week they were hit with a continuance from this September to October of next year.
Justice delayed does not mean that justice isn't going to be served.
I got to go for a walk because I have an appointment.
Holly Worth, the family spokeswoman, said Sunday Monta's supporters will remain behind her for as long as it takes.